Hello students, today I will discuss about Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. So, before coming to the discussion of the poem, we will discuss about the poet and the related ideas that will help us to understand the poem. Alfred Lord Tennyson was a representative poet of Victorian age. In his long lifetime, he wrote a number of poems and wrote about all the concerning issues of the Victorian age. In Victorian age, the psyche of the people was a complicated one. The scientific explorations and the discoveries made the people disbelieve religious concepts on the one hand, and they became suspicious and they suffered from existential crisis on the other hand. And therein lies the two terms Victorian conflict and Victorian compromise. Charles Darwin established his book Origin of Species, where he claimed the man to be the product of evolution. Our forefather is considered to be ape-type creature. So, this put a blow on the religious doctrines, and common men became quite hesitant whether they would follow the path of religion or the path of science. And some people took a middle way. They came under compromise. All these sentiments are caught in Tennyson's writing. In 1850, he succeeded William Wordsworth as poet laureate. His some famous works are In Memoriam, Ulysses, The Lotus Eater, Charge of the Light Brigade, etc. Ulysses and Lotus Eaters, two poems, deal with classical Greek theme. Now come to Ulysses. Who is Ulysses? Ulysses is the Greek legend of Homeric epic Odyssey. We all know that Greek poet Homer wrote two epics, number 1 Iliad and number 2 Odyssey. The first one deals with the Trojan War, and the second one deals with the adventure of Ulysses while returning home after spending long 20 years at travel and battle. And in this poem, Ulysses, Tennyson verily indebted on two sources. Number 1, Homer's epic. Number 2, Dante's Divine Comedy. In Canto 26 of Divine Comedy, there is a picturesque description of Ulysses putting the responsibility on his son Telemachus. What is the responsibility? The responsibility of kingship. In the poem, we will see that Ulysses is at the port, and before him is a crowd of people, his subjects, his fellows, his relatives, etc. and the poem has an abrupt opening. Ulysses is addressing a number of persons. This is called dramatic monologue. Mono means one. When we in one number express our own mentality or our own philosophy or our own idea, it is called monologue. It is like soliloquy in drama, স্বগতোক্তি. So, and when it is called dialogue is a conversation between two. But in Tennyson's poem and also another Victorian poet in Robert Browning's poem, we often find the jaw, dramatic monologue. There is one single speaker, and through his speech, the entire story is told. And through the narrative, the characters' colors, his perspectives, and his motives, everything is explored. Likewise, in the very poem, Ulysses, we see Ulysses, the central character, addressing a huge number of people. What is his motive? He is at the port, he is about to leave home. To sum up, Ulysses is an aged person with an aged wife, Penelope, and an adult son, Telemachus. Ulysses took part in the Trojan War, the historic Trojan War that caused for the elopement of Helen, the Greek paragon of beauty. By Prince Paris. The war lasted for long 10 years, and Ulysses had to spend 10 years alone, more 10 years alone, due to the curse of Greek gods. So, he already spent 20 years, 10 plus 10. And after 20 years, he came back home. Where is his home? His home is in Ithaca, Ithaca. And now Ulysses finds himself quite tiresome and lonesome to lead a normal domestic life with his wife and son and etc., with his kingship. Ulysses says that he is no more interested in such common domestic affairs, and he is reluctant to take the great responsibility of ruling the savage people of Ithaca. He says he has traveled much here and there in many countries, many cities, have known their cultures, the people, the courts, the councils, and everywhere he has been honored. So, he thinks himself more valuable to the unknown world than the familiar savage subjects of Ithaca. So, he has lost the spice of domestic pleasure and he again wants to go out for further adventure. And he wants to give the great responsibility or transfer the great responsibility of ruling the people ruling his motherland, and worshipping the household deities to his adult son Telemachus, whom he hopes to be the fittest person. And Ulysses, at the end of the poem, addresses the fellow mariners and encourages them. According to him, we have to work until death. We have to strive until death. To seek, to strive, to see, not to yield. That is the concluding line. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. It also represents the Victorian mood of further exploration and further development and utmost improvement of one's own personality and talent. So, Ulysses is not only a Greek legend in Tennyson's poem, but he is also the representative of Victorian sentiment, who has an unsatiable thirst for the unknown, who can't make himself bound within any particular limit